Coming up on the 1-0 Sports Show, Texas basketball dominating on both men's and the women's side. We recap a wild NBA trade deadline, and we get you ready for the big game coming up this Sunday. All this and more coming up on the 1-0 Sports Show.
Texas finally 1-0, finally riding for the brand.
And I'm getting back on my soapbox saying that if they just hit and rap and drive, then that doesn't happen.
You heard it here first from Hunter. Book your plane tickets to Omaha today. But we're not done yet.
No shot.
Are you kidding me?
So that's the third time.
That's terrible. Did you believe this was possible at the beginning of the season?
Oh, I always believe.
Always drink the Kool-Aid.
That's why I'm for the Cowboys right now. Welcome back. The 1-0 Sports Show is back from an elongated winter break. We had an ice storm. We had a crazy January, but we're back and we're ready for the big game coming up this Sunday. I'm Adam Ogburn, joined alongside by Manny Ramirez. Manny, how are you doing this morning?
Pretty good. Like you said, it's been a crazy winter. We had that crazy ice storm. I know a lot of people lost power. It was really scary at one point.
Yeah.
But man, I'm so happy to be back here. Dynamic duo, back at it again. You and me doing it one more time. So happy to be on the show.
For sure, it is senior season.
Right?
All right, let's get it. We love that. Yeah. Let's see if I thought I was playing on the old YouTube. It might have been the Super Tees. It may not have been us. We are good. Well, that's the TV. So, Manny, let's get right back into it. How about that Texas women's basketball team? Top of the Big 12?
Top of the Big 12. And another one at the top of the Big 12 also, like I said, a huge win against Texas Tech. They've been playing some really good basketball down the stretch as we're getting ready to go into March Madness. One thing that I did notice from this season and last season, they really started to pick it up after a big win over a ranked Iowa State team. Mm-hmm. They did that at home in Moody this season as last season as well. I think Vic Schaefer's really being able to get this team like really playing in shape. Shaylee Gonzalez is playing lights out right now, dropping, pretty much 20 points every single game that I see at the end as the leading scorer. And then Roy Harmon is just a superstar that she's been growing into. Last season as a freshman coming in and really just dominating. And in the same fashion, now being able to have that help around her where she can just dish easily and somebody can pop a three or, take a little drive and take a baseline J. I think she's going to be doing really well. And so I think this team is really starting to gel right at the right time to be able to make that really good push in March Madness.
For sure. And we know one thing about Vic Schaefer. He knows how to win in March. Took this team to the Elite Eight last year. And how about, you always remember that famous Mississippi State buzzer beater over UConn in the Final Four. So Vic Schaefer can win in March. We'll see what the Longhorns can do. The best thing about going in March, you got to be hot. The Longhorns are certainly that right now. I'm going to actually flip it over, talk about women's. Now, how about the men, too? They're also in first place in the Big 12. Shout out Rodney Terry when he took over. Yes, maybe kind of not a household name for as many people. Had been on Rick Barnes' staff before, then had gone away and been the head coach at UTEP and Fresno State. But he's led the Hornets to an 8-3 conference record. He also got a raise recently from $500,000 up to $1.2 million. Yeah, pay him up. And Manny, I don't know what you think, but I think he's definitely put himself in the running to be the next Texas head coach if this success continues.
I think Texas would be doing a disservice to their players and to their fans if you don't.
Well, we think we're back. We'll see if y'all can hear us or not. But welcome back into the 1-0 Sports Show. We apologize for cutting Who's Not, Who's Hot right in the middle. We've having some technical difficulties with our audio, but hopefully we're coming through sort of clean. Apparently there's maybe some static or something, so gotta love technology.
Yep.
But let's get right back into it. You talk about the women's basketball team. Talk about the men's basketball team too. I mean, impressive 8-3 in conference play. Rodney Terry definitely doing his best to show why he should be the man moving forward. I think another thing too, the 2 5-stars, one of them, Ron Holland, have reaffirmed their commitment to Texas in recent months.
Yeah,
now,
that's huge.
you know how recruiting goes. It kind of bounces around.
Right,
But
yeah.
the fact that these guys are reaffirming their commitment, they want to play under Rodney Terry. Definitely big. They got a game against West Virginia here tomorrow, and then a big game at Tech on Monday. And I think you look at the schedule, there's no easy game in the Big 12. Those are definitely 2 winnable ones.
Yeah, definitely. You got to be able to win on the road, especially in the Big 12. That's a huge thing, especially in college basketball. But one thing that I noticed is that no matter what it's like at half, this Texas team comes out as a different team in the second half. Rodney Terry definitely gives them the juice, gives them something, the secret formula. During halftime in the locker room, they come out a completely different team, really just being able to fix whatever problems they had in the first half. I think him and his staff are making great adjustments going into that, and they'll keep making great adjustments going into the rest of the season.
Certainly a second half team. So we talked about the basketball teams here on the 40 acres are killing it, but now let's flip to the other side. Who's not hot for you? Let's start with you, Manny.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go Manchester City. So Manchester City plays in the Premier League, and after a 4-year investigation from the Premier League itself, they are being accused of breaking financial rules. This could be dire for Manchester City. They could be dropped even down a couple leagues. They could be stripped of their titles. They have... It's been something that people always kind of speculated, but now that this is out, and it's not only just some random Twitter page that hates Manchester City that starts throwing this out. This is the actual Premier League, one of the best leagues, one of the biggest leagues in the entire world. Yeah, this could be dire. I mean, people are going to get fired, players are going to get cut, and they're going to take a deep dive into their financial books and see really where these discrepancies are happening.
I will say this, though, with FIFA and some of the leagues, it's been a lot of all bark, no bite on these, where they're always complaining about financial stuff and they never do anything. So we'll see if this investigation actually turns into something. It does seem like it is kind of serious, but I don't know, man. Money talks in the Premier League, and Man City's got that oil money, so we'll see what happens. But definitely that is a space to 100% watch and see, are they going to maybe finally set an example with Manchester City? Who's not? Let's go up to the old Northeast. Let's go up to Maine. The Maine basketball taking on Vermont. Now, it's kind of hard to see from here, but if you look closely at the baseline, it's crooked. They somehow set up the baseline jagged. So this was in the pregame. Now let's flip to the next picture. So the game had to be delayed as they redid the floor. So, the person in charge of the main gym is getting a stern talking to after that. But that's kind of impressive, where I guess they're just sitting at the floor, and they probably look at their buddy, and you're like, you think they'll notice that?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about that same thing, too. Is looking at it, it's like, is that crooked? And then the other guy's looking at it, it's like, no. No, it's all right.
It reminds me, there's a commercial where, I think it might be Geico, where the guy's painting on the field and he gets lost and he starts going all these curves and he's like, yeah, you think they'll notice? So that's tough. So Maine, hoping they get that sorted out. That is the tough scene for whoever was in charge of that. Now let's move on from who's hot, who's not. What's trending? And I tell you what, the NBA was trending this week. Let's start with the NBA trade deadline. Manny, who made the best move in your eyes? I mean, it was a crazy couple days.
It was an insane couple days. I mean, it felt like just one after another. It was just Wojbomb and Shams and just continuing to just break these huge trades. I'm going to go with the obvious one, but I'm going to go Kevin Durant to the Suns. The Suns are loading up for a big-time push. Obviously, CP3 has yet to win a ring. This is probably going to be his best shot. Kevin Durant does not have to be a leader on this team. At times, he felt like he had to be a leader on at the Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah.
But here he doesn't have to be a leader because Chris Paul can worry about that, and Kevin Durant really has the opportunity to know that there's a guy to the left of him in Devin Booker who can make some clutch shots. So really, Kevin Durant's just going to focus on hooping, and that is a dangerous Kevin Durant.
Maybe a chance for Chris Paul to finally get that elusive ring.
Yeah.
I like the Suns move. I like the Lakers too. They got some depth for LeBron to work with. They got Mo Bamba. They got Malik Beasley. They got D'Angelo Russell. They got Rui Hachimura. So some more depth to finally go alongside LeBron and AD. And they got Russ out of there. So we'll see where Russ ends up too. I don't think the Jazz are going to keep him. The Mavs, they got a huge personality, but they did finally get Luka a second star. I think that was a really good move because you always looked at that Mavs team and it was Luka and a bunch of kind of role players or a bunch of solid stars, and you're always wondered, what if they got one more star player? Well, now that they had that in Kyrie in the locker room to make that work. But I mean, Manny, you look at the two conferences. The West is stacked, and the East has.
Right. Yeah. I think West is really going to be the place to look, especially in the playoff. And if he hits that, and it's an actual three to win the game, we might not even be talking about this. We could still be talking about KD and Kyrie on the Nets together. But an insane trade deadline nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure. Now let's go to some other big news in the NBA. Was LeBron earning the NBA all-time scoring record? I mean, Manny,
Wow. Just to think of me personally, if we're gonna say, oh, what about the championships? Okay, well, why don't we have Bill Russell as the GOAT if we're talking about championships? When you think about the longevity, the impact that he's had, his ability to just do it over and over and over again with little drop off, to be completely honest with you. I mean, he's 38 years old. He's 38 years old, and he's averaging around 30 points a game. It's absolutely insanity to me. I'm going to give that this really just sent it his way and makes LeBron the GOAT.
what we'll have to that is LeBron has played now points to MJ. MJ still got the 2 more titles. And I don't know, I was just watching The Last Dance, and man, just the way MJ would just take over games. LeBron did that with the Cavs year after year after year. I don't know, man. I think MJ still might have him just a little bit. But this is a LeBron in the history books for maybe forever. We'll have to see if this is ever a record that's going to get broken. Because you talked about it. It's the longevity. I mean, 21 seasons, I believe, in now. And he's been pretty solid throughout. I think he missed, after his first 2 seasons, he's been an all-star ever since. So keeping that consistency going. Well, we apologize for Mike issues. We finally made it through our first segment of the One and O Sports Show. When we come back, TJ Krilowicz, he's going to join the panel, and we're going to have some fun going over the highlights of the week. You won't want to miss it. You're watching the One and O Sports Show.
You're watching a live sports presentation of Texas Student Television.
It's a lovely evening in Austin. Texas Longhorns, Texas A&M Aggies.
This is a rivalry game, high intensity, high scoring.
Puck drop, we're off.
Both of these teams are very fast.
Big collision on the wall there. Now a little advantage for Texas. Shot in the middle.
Welcome back into the 1-0 Sports Show. TJ Krilowicz joined the panel. TJ, how you doing this morning?
Doing great. Friday, always good day.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Especially the Friday before the Super Bowl, man. We got a good weekend coming up. But before we get to that, it's time for one of our favorite segments, time for some verses. Let's go through. We got the highlights of the week, and then in honor of the Super Bowl, we got a couple of highlights from the NFL season as a whole. But let's start with this week. Manny, let's start with you. What was your best college basketball play that you saw this week?
So I have a dunk of the year candidate. So I'm going to go Vincent Brady II with no regard for human life. As it was once said, look at this, just coming down the court. Give me that head time. And you're on the floor. And the biggest one, the funniest thing that I saw is you'll see his teammate literally point at the dude on the floor. Look, he'll come to the screen right now. He just points at him. He's like, look at you. You're on the floor. That, currently what I've seen so far, dunk of the year candidate, absolutely.
That was pretty incredible. My man was setting up, man. He was like an IUPUI in Green Bay.
That's like the type of stuff you see like on the Ball is Life highlight Instagram page.
That better be on a poster by now. For me, I was actually watching this live. This was pretty incredible. How about Vanderbilt taking on Tennessee here in the waning moments? Vanderbilt down by 2. Going for the late for the tie, right? No, kicks to the corner. And look at this, Tyron Lawrence for the win, and he swishes it to knock off Tennessee. Huge win for the Commodores, who'd just been embarrassed by Alabama a couple days before. It was their first win over Tennessee since February of 2017. 6 years in the making. That's a pretty good way to knock off your rival. So, TJ, what do you got? You got the dunk or the game-winning three-pointer? What's the best play?
Y'all made this tough for sure. That's a tough decision. I'm going to have to go with Manny, though. I'm going to have to go with the dunk. I think the dunk, just because it's the best play, best play. The dunk was really it was really nice. That's something that you don't see a lot in college basketball, that's for sure. But definitely a very impressive buzzer beater. The knockoff Tennessee is not an easy thing to do, but it's the best play.
Yeah, for sure. That is legit a dunk of the year candidate.
Oh yeah,
we need to keep that around for when we're going back on the college basketball season. Let's go now from college up to the NBA. Best NBA play of the week. We've already talked about LeBron. We'll put LeBron breaking the record up there. So let's go beyond LeBron and see what else is going on in the NBA this week. Manny, what you got?
Yeah, so I'm going to go Norman Powell with another. I'm pretty much doing dunks right now.
Okay, big dunk
Norman
guy.
Powell with a poster on Julius Randle, just getting up top again. Oh my goodness. Just a huge play. I mean, just to be able to explode coming off pretty much parallel to the basket, and then just going top shelf, as the kids say, head top, right? Head top. So that's got to be my best NBA play of the week.
Tough week for the Knicks because mine is against the Knicks too. Let's go. Let's see what the Magic are up to against the Knicks. We got look at that, Markelle Fultz. I think that VO, it was supposed to be a full one.
I've seen the highlight.
Okay, you've seen it.
I've seen
Good.
the highlight.
I don't know what happened to that highlight. It was significantly shortened, apparently.
Dunk compilation going on. I'm going to go with Markelle Fultz. I think the Markelle Fultz putback, man, that's so athletic. But also talking about how Markelle Fultz has had knee problems in the past. It's good to see him back on the court. Good to see him jumping high. Powell, that was a really good dunk, but that's on my man Julius Randle. He's from Dallas.
Can't do it, right?
Gotta rep the locals. So I'm gonna go with Adam for this one.
I respect it. I respect it.
We've been looking at some great highlights, right?
Yeah.
Time for a low light. Let's go worst blooper of the week. What you got, Manny?
So I'm going to go with what's probably going to be memed for the next couple years, but it's the missed call between the Lakers and the Celtics on LeBron at the very end of the game. As you can see here, this is to win it. The 4 seconds left on the clock, and as we'll see it in a little later on, look at him jumping. He just can't believe it. He's slapping the floor. He's on both knees. Like, it's just not well for LeBron right now. But you'll see it right now. It was a legitimate missed call. It was a foul. Jason Tatum hit him right on the arm, blocked him from being able to make the shot. Probably would have gone in, and
there you go, right
probably
here.
would have won the game. Look at it right here as the hand comes down.
Man.
Slap. So,
right
but not only was the missed call pretty bad, because there was a an official right there looking at it. But just the reaction from LeBron, that's got to be the worst blooper of the week for me.
LeBron, but you can't mention without Patrick Beverley's reaction too.
Oh yeah, coming up with the camera and showing it. Yeah, that was good.
One of the best texts of all time.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're picking on NBA refs this week because I'm going to go. This was on Wednesday night. Rockets taking on the Kings. Rockets up by 1 in the waning moments, and that is called a foul. De'Aaron Fox just kind of flails himself out. Look at his back leg. He kind of kicks his leg. There's not really any contact. It's Fox really initiates it. He kind of kicks his back leg into Gordon and then just kind of goes flailing. The ref bites on it, and Fox makes all 3 free throws to win the game. Bitter pill for the Rockets to swallow. Not a great week or two for the NBA refs.
No, not at all.
It's surprising. You get the best referees in the world. These are supposed to be the best refs in the world, and they are messing up calls like this. I'm gonna go with Manny though because I think it's hilarious. The reaction was the reaction was top tier. Also because the wife of the referee that missed the call I think was on Twitter, and there's a past tweet of her and her family rooting on the Celtics, which just makes it extra.
That's bad. Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with Manny.
That's very fair. Honestly, the Rockets are probably celebrating the loss. All right, closer to Wembanyama. Let's go.
For sure.
Well, let's save us some lowlights. Now let's go to the NFL season as a whole. Let's go worst blooper of the NFL season. Manny, what you got?
So at this point, everything that could go wrong for the Jags was going wrong for the Jags. So I'm gonna go with the muffed punt, if you want to even call it that, versus the Chargers in the playoffs. I mean, this was a tough game in the first half for the Jaguars, but at home hosting your first playoff game in a while and just bonk off the top of the head.
I forgot that.
For the fumble, it was recovered by the Chargers. I mean, this was at this point I turned off the TV and I said I'm not watching this. Later to know that the Jags did end up coming back, winning the game, but at that point everything that could go wrong was going wrong.
I love the bonk. Just
right off the top.
This I think is going to go down in history as maybe one of the worst NFL plays of all time. We got the Raiders and Patriots tied in the final play of the game.
Yes.
And you're just going to run a draw. Let's see how far we can get upfield, right? A pretty good game, getting about 20 yards.
Yep.
Let's pitch it back to my teammate, right? All right, come on, Jacoby Myers, do something. Oh, except he throws it straight to Raider. Mac Jones gets stiff arm, and they are gone. How about that? Chandler Jones winning the game for the Raiders. That's an all-time way to lose a football game.
This one's obvious. I'm going with Adam. That is that's something straight out of Madden. Yeah, I have not seen something like that ever. I've not seen anything like that ever in real life. And also to think the Patriots were 8-9 at the end of the year. I think they're just one game off.
One game out of the
making
playoffs.
The playoffs. Come on, that's just awful.
Belichick probably went through the roof. Well, we've done some lowlights, so let's end on a high note. Let's get the best play of the NFL season. Manny, let's start with you. What was the best play?
So I'm going to go with DJ Moore with an insane catch at the end of their game versus the Atlanta Falcons. I mean,
Goose, look away.
there's a few seconds left, and just toss it up. He's got 2 players draped all over him. Just the fact that it was in the clutch moment towards the end. Now let's not focus on what happened.
Cut the highlight off there. Cut the highlight off
there because yes, the Panthers did go on to lose this game because he took off his helmet and he got a penalty pushing back the extra point, and they end up missing it. But the catch itself was just insane. I mean, the ball comes down with such velocity from that point, from that far away. So great concentration and great ability just to bring it down securely.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I almost put that as my best play of the NFL season until he took off his helmet. So I ended up going with this game-winning score. The Jets and Patriots playing an absolute classic in this one. 3-3 in the waning seconds. Marcus Jones going to take this one from his own 16-yard line. And he looking for some space down the side. And he might go. Just the punter to beat.
Out.
Yeah, bye-bye. Marcus Jones, 84 yards for the win. And this was the infamous Zach Wilson game where they asked him, they're like, do you feel like you cost your team? And he was like, no. I don't think he started after that.
Poor Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
All right, I believe it's tied 2-2, right?
Yeah, so this is for all the marbles.
All right.
Tiebreaker.
I think I have to go with Adams here. I have a special appreciation for special teams. I think those are always fun plays to have. Also, a game where it's tied 3-3 late in the fourth quarter, it's always fun to like finally see someone score.
Yeah.
It's
well, the offenses weren't going to do it.
yeah, exactly. You got Mac Jones versus Zach Wilson. What's going on over there, man? But yeah, I'm gonna go with Adam.
Sweet. Well, good stuff. That was a fun segment. And don't worry, TJ's not going anywhere. We're bringing him back. Him and Manny are about to go head-to-head now. We've got some NFL 2022 season trivia coming up. You won't want to miss it coming up on the One of Those Sports Show.
You're watching a live sports presentation of Texas Student Television.
It's a lovely evening in Austin. Texas Longhorns, Texas A&M Aggies.
This is a rivalry game, high intensity, high scoring.
Puck drop. We're off.
Both of these teams are very fast.
Big collision on the wall there. Now a little advantage for Texas. Shot in the middle.
Justin Tucker. Give him his 99 rating in Madden. Football team plays outside. There is no roof, so they have a pretty high ceiling. So I think Texas tennis team has a high ceiling.
Texas, as everyone should. Well, I think a lot of it has to say with how OU has been. They look like one of the most overrated teams in college football right now.
I think we're going to be fine. Texas by 10.
Well, thank you again for waking up with the One of Those Sports Show on this Friday morning. It's Super Bowl week, and so we got to honor it with some 2022 NFL season trivia. Let's get right into it. TJ and Manny are going head-to-head. We've got 8 multiple-choice questions for these guys. So let's see how well they know the 2022 NFL season. Let's roll. Let's get that first question up on there. The NFL has been expanding their international games. So which of these places did not host an NFL game this year? Is it Munich, London, Frankfurt, or Mexico City?
You want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. I am going to go London is where one was not held. No, sorry, Frankfurt. Frankfurt was one that was not held.
Okay. I'm going to just go for the spirit of it. I'll go different answer. And I was actually thinking this. I'll go London.
It's a toss-up for me. I'm not too sure.
You got it. It's
Let's
Frankfurt.
go.
So, the NFL playing a couple games in London. I think it was the, let's see who we got. We got the Bucks playing the Seahawks in Munich, and the 49ers played the Cardinals in Mexico City. It was the first time they played a Mexico City game in a couple of years, but they're coming to Frankfurt next year. So it seems like by the end of this century or something, all the NFL games are just be all over the world. So they keep expanding. But yeah, so well done for Manny on that one. Let's move to question number 2. Which team in a single game, which team scored the most points during a single game in 2022? Was it the Seahawks, the Rams, the Cowboys, or the Chiefs?
Whoa. I mean, it's going to be real embarrassing if it's the Cowboys, but I don't think it is. I think it's the Rams because I think I remember them scoring, was it like 55, 57, something like that against the Broncos on Christmas Day.
Ooh. I don't have that in my bag. I'm going to go Dallas Cowboys with the 49 points against the Chicago Bears.
Yeah, you got it.
Let's go.
Actually,
Come on,
they topped that. They put 54 up against the Colts.
That's right.
Yeah,
they did.
It was the
they did.
The Rams were close. They put up, I think, 51 against the Broncos. They just need one more Russell Wilson pick 6.
That's my team. Yeah. That was my team. I got it wrong.
A little tough. But so Cowboys. How about that? Now let's move into number 3. Let's take a look at some quarterback statistics. During a single game, which quarterback had the most passing yards this season? In one game alone. Was it? Oh, let's go back. We got Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, Tua Tagovailoa, or Kirk Cousins.
Oh, man. There's been some QB battles this season.
Definitely has been.
I'll take it. I'll go first, and I am going to go with... Give me the big arm of Patrick Mahomes going for the most yards.
I feel like Patrick Mahomes is too obvious of an answer. And I think it's gonna be Tua Tagovailoa. I can't say his last name right now. He had a lot of good games at the start of the season, a lot of yards with Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. So I'm gonna go with C.
Close. Tua had 469 against the Ravens. Okay. So those two are out. So it's down to Kirk and Joe.
I can't go Kirk. I'm
I'll
gonna go Joe.
Kirk. I'll go Kirk. I go with the chains.
It is Joe. Joe Burrow had 481 against the Falcons. CeCe's loving it backstage. Kirk had 460 in that wild comeback against the Colts. So Kirk and Tua came close, but Joe takes the top spot. Now let's go to the playoffs. Let's see how well y'all remember the playoff teams this year.
Let's go.
Which division had the most playoff teams this season? Was it the NFC West, the NFC East, the AFC East, or the NFC North? Or the AFC North, excuse me.
The NFC Beast.
The NFC Beast, the East.
Oh, yeah. How about it?
Yeah.
The Giants, the Eagles, and the Cowboys all go in the playoffs, all three, and the Commanders weren't far off.
We're almost
Close.
in, yeah.
They've gone from the worst division in football to maybe the best. So, yeah, y'all nailed it on that one. NFC East getting 3 teams in the playoffs. Now let's take a look at some offenses. Which team had the best offense this year, scoring the most points per game? Was it the Bills, the Eagles, Dan Campbell's Fighting Detroit Lions, or the Kansas City Chiefs?
Wow. I'm gonna go Bills. I'm gonna go Bills as the top spot.
Okay. As much as I want it to be the Dan Campbell Fighting Lions, I'm gonna pick the Eagles.
That's a good choice.
Y'all are close.
No.
No. There's one team. Bills and Eagles came second and third.
Wow.
Wow.
There's
So
one
it's,
team.
it's the Chiefs.
Yeah, it's old Patty. The Lions actually finished in 5th. Yeah, so Chiefs at 29.2.
Very. Yeah, actually.
Bills at 28.4 and the Eagles at 28.1. So those 3 offenses, you can tell why they're at the top. You can tell why the Chiefs and Eagles are going off against each other this weekend.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Let's go from offense to defense. How about who's got the least points per game allowed this year? Was it the Bills, the 49ers, your Dallas Cowboys, or the New York Jets?
Oh, man.
The Cowboys have let up some points.
Yeah, they definitely have. They've had some games.
It's definitely not the Jets.
I'm going to go with the Bills. I'm going to go with the Bills.
That's a really good choice. I'll go with the 49ers, though.
Yeah.
It was the 49ers. They edged them. The Bills were second. 49ers were first. Hey, don't disrespect the Jets. The Jets are actually 4th.
Really?
Yeah, they're the 4th best
surprising.
defense in the NFL.
That's actually very surprising.
Yeah, I thought it was the Bills. I had them in fantasy, and they were dominating
good.
at the start of the year.
They were literally right behind the 49ers, number 1, number 2, right there. But defense couldn't do much in that playoff game.
Yeah, that's true.
Against the Bengals. Let's go number 7. This one's a tough one because there's a lot of stars here. Which receiver led the NFL in receiving yards this year? Was it Justin Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs, or Devontae Adams?
I'm trying to think back to that graphic that the NFL put up after every week saying who's the top 5 leaders. I mean, I'm gonna go with the guy who's in the MVP conversation. I'm gonna go Justin Jefferson.
That's a good guess. I think it's Tyreek Hill. I would have gone Justin Jefferson, but I think Tyreek Hill, he had at least 10 100-yard games, I think. I'm not positive. I'm just coming off the dome with that, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
It's Justin Jefferson. Tyreek Hill. Bro, you get the second place every time. Tyreek Hill right behind with 17-10. You got to remember, too, Tyreek was playing with Skylar Thompson a little bit down the stretch. So
yeah, that's true.
Justin Jefferson taking the top lot, even with Kirk Cousins as his QB. So, although, in fairness, the Vikings did play a lot of noon games this year. Kirk Cousins, he's a different beast at noon than once you get past past lunchtime.
And don't talk about primetime.
Yeah. Final question. We're going to have a little bit of fun with this one. Who was watching on Christmas? Which cartoon character on Nickelodeon broadcast a Russell Wilson interception? Was it SpongeBob, Patrick Star, Mr. Krabs, or Santa Claus?
Oh, man. If you want, you can take it first. Go for it, man.
I'm the one down. I'll take it. It's Patrick Star. That's not what he wanted to cook. Yeah. It's Patrick Star. That was a classic one.
Man, I haven't seen Nickelodeon in I don't know how long. But give me the main character. Give me SpongeBob. Give me the guy SpongeBob.
Yeah, TJ got this. It was old Patrick Star.
Yeah.
They did have Santa running some fly routes on the outside. So you got to tune in, guys, see what's up with the Nick game. So
yeah, the Nickelodeon games. There needs to be more next year. That was really fun.
That's our Who's Hot. They just need to put terrible games like Jets Patriots. That's going on Nickelodeon, man. So they need to make it interesting. Oh man. Well, sweet TJ, thank you so much for joining us this morning. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Manny talked about this in the intro. The red-hot Texas women's basketball team, well, we've got a treat. Texas women's basketball manager Brett Haden joins the show next to break down the Longhorns' success this year. You won't want to miss it coming up on the 1-0 Sports Show. We've got Texas running back Trey Newton, Alabama student journalist Robert Cortez, and everything you need to know about the big matchup at Darrell K. Royal Memorial Stadium tomorrow. It's all coming up on the 1-0 Sports Show.
I'm getting back on my soapbox saying that if they just hit and wrap and drive, then that play doesn't happen.
The Colorado Buffaloes, they haven't won a game all year until this right here in overtime against the Cal Golden Bears. But we're not done yet.
No shot. You're not serious. Are you kidding me?
So that's the third time.
That's terrible.
Give me 8-4. I do think that UT should win the Golden Hat this year, so that's something to look forward to.
Did you believe this was possible at the beginning of the season?
Oh, I always believe.
Always drink the Kool-Aid.
That's why I'm wearing a Cowboys hat right now. Hey, you have to believe.
I think this game it was Aaliyah Matharu who hit a 3 with 5 left to go.
Serving and defensive coverage. This Texas team is a team that everyone knows struggles behind the service line, and those points lost to service errors could cost this team.
Coach Sark, lately you're not hearing all gas, no brakes a lot on the 40 acres.
It's about relationship building. This is about building family. It's getting this team to mean something to the community.
Welcome back into the 1-0 Sports Show. We've got one of Texas women's basketball owned manager Brett Haden joining the show. Brett, how are you doing this morning?
I'm good. Not much. Just a good Friday.
Hey, good time to have you on too, especially with how well the women have been playing lately. They have been red hot. But before we get into the team, let's talk a little bit about you. Can you just kind of tell us a little bit about your role with the team and kind of what your favorite part of it is?
Yeah, I'm a student manager with the team, and so I just do a lot of random things, set up practice, do all that. And then I guess my favorite part is I get to actually practice against the girls. So it's fun to get to play against that high level competition every day.
For sure.
Make them better.
Are you running a little scout team?
Have to.
Yeah.
Gotta help out on the scout
Who are you preparing for TCU? What player were you?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know the TCU girls.
Okay.
Any other team in the conference, I know it.
Yeah.
Whoever number 5 is for TCU.
Okay.
That's me.
There you go.
Well, we'll do some research on that.
Yeah, so, what has impressed you the most about this year's team?
I would say the defense has impressed me the most about this year's team. We brought in some grad transfers that not necessarily known for their defense, but just getting into the system and getting to practice every day in the University of Texas and what Vic Schaefer runs, the defense has improved a lot throughout the year, so it's been impressive.
Shout out the transfer portal.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, you talked a lot about kind of some of those grad transfers, different players coming in. Yeah, I think one of the biggest household names with women's basketball is Rory Harmon. She is an absolute star, but, what's one player maybe besides Rory or maybe a couple players besides her that you think aren't getting enough attention from Texas fans?
Yeah, I think Rory's our best player, but probably our second best player is Deanna Gaston. She's our 4-player, 5-player. She's so strong. She's ridiculously strong. She's so athletic, jump out of the gym. And she's led us in scoring a lot this year. I think she's our leading scorer average-wise, and she, especially in conference, she's just constantly, we're going to her inside. She's blocking shots, getting rebounds. She's impressive.
We were playing the highlight compilation earlier. I think she had a big and one down the stretch against Kansas up at Allen Fieldhouse?
Real big one in Allen Fieldhouse.
That's a tough place to go up and win. That was a big win for them on the road for sure.
Yeah.
So, Brett, what would you say has been your favorite memory so far of the season?
Ooh, my favorite memory. Probably we played a tournament in the Bahamas, so we all flew down to the Bahamas.
Yeah,
We're playing. It was a blast, but then on our way back, our flight actually got canceled, and so we got stuck in the Bahamas. So
oh no!
Yeah,
everyone was actually really ready to go home, but then because we'd been working the whole week.
Yeah.
But now we're stuck, no work to do. we all just got to go to the beach and hang out. It was a blast. Everyone,
very cool.
It brought up the spirits a lot before we headed home. So
That's
it was a good
awesome.
time.
Yeah, that's a place you want to be stuck in. So thank goodness y'all weren't having well, I know y'all had a trip trying to get back from Morgantown,
We got
right?
Stuck in Morgantown, not nearly as fun as being stuck in the Bahamas.
So shout out the Texas Ice Storm for stranding our poor women's basketball team. I know y'all had to take a bus back from Houston, right?
Yeah, so we didn't even know we were flying back to Houston. We thought we were flying back to Austin, and then we get on the plane, and the intercom comes on, and they're like, the flight to Houston is how many hours? And we all were so confused. We took a bus back to Austin. It was a good time.
Yeah, don't want to be trying to land a plane on ice here in Austin. Right, so probably a good call there from the higher ups of women's basketball.
Yeah.
But, maybe this women's basketball team maybe doesn't get enough attention from Texas fans sometimes. So can you just kind of tell us something about the women's basketball team that you think Texas fans ought to know about the team that maybe they're not paying attention to?
I think one thing is when you come to the games, it's real electric because the pace is so fast. Specifically with our team, we are one of the fastest teams in the country. We press a lot of the game. We get up and down the floor. So there's constant steals. There's constant fast breaks. The game moves quick, and so it's really fun to watch.
For sure.
We talk about Coach Schaefer a lot, really one of the best coaches in basketball right now. So what is it like to get the experience to work under him?
It's really unique to work under Coach Schaefer. He's obviously super smart, and he knows what works. He gets it done, and he's respectful to everyone. He treats us well, and I'm finally at the stage now in my third year where he jokes with me a bit. So
let's go.
It's a good time.
Good stuff. I'm going to throw this one in here. I didn't have this one written down, but we talked a lot about this 6-game winning streak in the Big 12. Not an easy conference to string together a win, especially when we're going home away. What's been the key from what you've seen to the 6-game win streak?
Once again, it's our defense. There's a stat, if we hold teams under 59 points, we haven't lost a game yet doing that. And we've held Oklahoma averages like 80 points a game.
Oh, yeah, they're insane.
We held them to 50-something. And it's just defense. And then outside of that, toughest thing with conference play is focus. You can't take a game off. You can't relax for any amount of time, even with travel back-to-back, all that. It's focus. And so this past 6 games, I would say focus has been the main thing that has turned it on for us.
Oklahoma's team is insane. I saw some highlights from their Bedlam Showdown up in Norman. Man, that thing was back and forth. I think both teams scored in the 90s.
That was ridiculous. Wow. I remember watching that.
Old track meet up there.
What would you say is the key for this team to make a deep run in March Madness? Like we talked about last year, going to the Elite Eight. What do you think that this year is the key to either replicate that or even go further?
It's good because we have the talent. We have everything necessary to go far in the tournament. Again, it's focus, and mainly with focus, I would say limiting turnovers because we're going to get steals. We're going to create extra possessions for ourselves, but then we've got to take care of the ball. We've got to not turn it over, and we've got to make sure we get it inside and score it.
I will say one nice thing about when you get down to March Madness, falling back on that defense. And it sounds like our women's team, they've got some great defense.
Yes.
So they're going to be fun to watch. Vic Schaefer, he lives for March, man. He seems he's successful every single year. So it's going to be fun to see what the women achieve this season. Keep an eye on them. Big home game against TCU tomorrow at 4.
4 o'clock.
And then up to Iowa State on Monday.
Monday night, Iowa State.
Old Ames. It should be a raucous crowd up there. From what I've heard, they definitely turn out there. Well, Brett, thank you so much for giving us the women's basketball breakdown. Don't worry, Brett's not going anywhere. We're going to test his football knowledge when we get back. He's going to make some Super Bowl predictions with us. You won't want to miss it. You're watching the 1-0 Sports Show.
You're watching a live sports presentation of Texas Student Television.
It's a lovely evening in Austin. Texas Longhorns, Texas A&M Aggies.
This is a rivalry game, high intensity, high scoring.
Puck drop, we're off.
Both of these teams are very fast.
Big collision on the wall there. Now a little advantage for Texas. Shot in the middle.
Justin Tucker. Give him his 99 rating in Madden. Football team plays outside. There is no roof, so they have a pretty high ceiling. So I think Texas tennis team has a high ceiling.
Texas. as everyone should. Well, I think a lot of it has to say with how OU has been. They look like one of the most overrated teams in college football right now.
I think we're going to be fine. Texas Lightning.
Welcome back on to the 1-0 Sports Show. It's time for some Super Bowl predictions, and we're not just predicting the game. We've got a whole list of things we're going to go through, so let's get started right away. Apparently one of the big things people like to bet on is the national anthem time. So they've got Chris Stapleton, the country singer, he's going to be doing the national anthem. They've got his over-under listed at 1 minute, 59 seconds and a half. So is he going 2 minutes or 1:59 and under? Manny, what do you think?
This is the same guy who has practically a 5-minute song in Tennessee Whiskey.
Yeah.
He drowns out every single sentence for about 10, 15 seconds longer than it should be. I'm going the over. I think it's going to be over 2 minutes, way longer. I think he's going to do the same thing to the national anthem.
Shoot, that was some insight. I don't listen to country. I was thinking under because he may not, like some people go super high and they draw a nose. I didn't think he would. But I don't know. I'm hearing some backstage information that we might have a long national anthem, so I'm gonna take the over on it now. What do you think, Brett?
I watched a couple TikToks on it. It said, I think 5 out of the last 6 country singers have gone over 2 minutes and 5 seconds.
Dang, man.
So 1:59 is a bit low. I'm taking over.
Okay, man.
Big time insight.
You're not on the UT Wi-Fi though, right?
I turn it off.
All right, let's go real quick on this one. Apparently, this one's a popular one too, which it's a true 50-50. Heads or tails? What we got, Brett?
Oh, I'm always heads. That's my go-to.
What did Randy Moss say? To always choose in the Madden game. Tails never fails. I'm going tails.
Nah, I'm going heads. All right, this was a little interesting one. Does M&M's or Doritos, which commercial comes first? Brett?
I like M&M's more, so I guess I'll go with them.
Great pick. M&M's has some weird thing. Me and my roommate were watching TV the other week, and they were promoting like clam stuffed M&M's, or it was some weird Super Bowl thing because we looked at it, we're like, what is this? So M&M's got some weird kind of commercial thing going on. So give me M&M's.
I'm gonna go Doritos. Doritos always shows up. I think that they're gonna come first. They always bring it with their Super Bowl commercials. They're always some of the funniest ones. They're always the ones I remember the most. So give me Doritos to come first.
Okay. We'll be keep an eye on that. No, this is the one event a year where people actually watch the commercials.
Right? Yeah.
All right, let's go now into the game. What's going to be the result of the first possession? Are we going punt? Are we going offensive touchdown, offensive field goal attempt, or anything else? Basically chaos. What do you think?
I think, as you and I were talking before, that the Super Bowl is just kind of weird and things really start off slow. Not to mention that if the Chiefs get it first, obviously we know about this Eagles defense. But I'm gonna go punt either way. I think they're gonna come out the blocks a little slow, a little sluggish, trying to shake off the nerves and everything like that. I'm gonna go punt.
I agree. Great pick. I think it's like that. I think it's just a little bit nervy sometimes in the Super Bowl. I think it takes them a possession or two to kind of settle in.
I'm going to go with a field goal. I think if the Eagles get the ball, they'll establish the run game, get it going, maybe get in field goal range. If Mahomes get the ball, I wouldn't be shocked if he brings it down the field. So,
yeah, we'll see. We'll see what the offenses do. It's going to be fun to watch these two quarterbacks duel. And talking about the two quarterbacks, we got some predictions on them. Let's start with Patrick Mahomes. Is he going over or under 290 and a half passing yards? Brett, what do you think?
I just saw recently he had gone over 300 yards in his most recent game against the Bengals, and then in his past Super Bowl in 2020, I believe he was just under 290. So hard to bet against Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to go over.
Yeah. I think that's a great pick. I think it's probably take some points to win the Super Bowl. And the thing, too, I looked at that Super Bowl, too. Damian Williams, who went over 100. I don't know if the Chiefs have an overly reliable running back that's going to have 20 carries for them. I think it's going to be a lot of Patrick Mahomes, a lot of Travis Kelce, too. I'm going over.
Yeah, I'm going to go over as well. We always talk about, the defenses are so great and everything. And then when you get to the big game, it's a shootout.
Yeah.
And it's a track meet, basically, and the points are being run up. So I'm going to go over on this one. I think it's going to be a shootout, like I said, over 290 and a half.
Now, this one's interesting. Jalen Hurts, over under 296.5 passing plus rushing yards. We know he's a dual threat. Man, is he getting over or under that?
I think the Eagles are going to be able to really exploit this and make some designed runs for him. I'm going to go over on this. I think he's going to be able to get it. Like I said, by no means this is going to be like a low-scoring game. I think this is going to be a shootout. So being able to run, not to mention just being able to like sit back in the pocket. If he doesn't see anything, he's going to take off. So I'm going to go over on this.
I'm going to say not so fast. I'm going to go under. I don't think he's been the same since that shoulder injury. I think they're going to rely a little bit more on Miles Sanders. So I'm going to say just a bit under that.
I'm going to go under as well. Chiefs have a good pass rush. Run defense isn't as good as their pass rush, so I think Eagles with a good run game will hand it off a good bit.
Now let's go to this one. Let's take a look at both offenses. Are both teams going to have a turnover? Yes or no? Britt, what do you think?
I don't think so. I just don't think there's going to be that many turnovers in this game.
Manny, what do you think?
I think this is going to be an air attack game, and so just by the sheer amount of passes that we're going to be seeing, I think that there's bound to happen. So I'm going to go with one for both teams. Yeah.
I'm going to say yes as well. I looked it up. I think Mahomes had 2 interceptions in the Super Bowl against the Buccaneers, the one they lost. And Matthew Stafford actually had a couple interceptions last year in their Super Bowl victory. So I do think about 1 turnover apiece, maybe a fumble or something like that. So I'm going to say both teams, yeah. I'm going to go both teams will have a turnover. Plus, you get the little nerves in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So now this one's interesting. How about what color Gatorade is going to be dumped on the winning coach? Manny, what do you think?
I'm going to go yellow. Something told me orange, but I'm going to go yellow for this one. I called it green, and then people told me I was wrong, and it's actually the yellow, the lemon lime flavor, right? So
but the green's something disgusting, isn't
it's like
it?
it's a cucucber.
No, I don't do cucumber, man. I don't know what people's thoughts are on cucumber. I don't touch cucumber, man.
Going off on a tangent. I'm going to go yellow. I'm going to go with the lemon lime flavor being dumped on the coach.
What do you think, Brett?
I'm going to go orange. Why not? Hook 'em horns.
There you go.
Do they do the clear stuff, like the cherry? They never dump clear?
No, I've never seen that.
Okay, so we're not going to go clear. We'll go light blue. Don't they have the light blue one? We'll go light blue and see they go light blue on that one. Although red for the Chiefs might not be a bad guess. But yeah, I'm going light blue. So we'll see. Hopefully out of those 3 we guess, hopefully it'll be one of them. If they go clear, I'm coming for y'all. Now let's go look at the game as a whole. Manny, you've been talking about a shootout. So are they going over or under 51 points? How crazy are we getting?
Right. I think we go over. I really do. I think this is gonna, like I said, it's gonna be a shootout. There's gonna be a lot of points. Essentially, a track meet going on right now. For some reason, something's telling me that these defenses aren't gonna show up as much as we think they are. So give me the over on points.
I feel like this one could it could almost push, because I feel like 27-24, something like that could be very realistic. I don't know. I think it's a Super Bowl. I think sometimes they get nervous. I could say like a 27-20. So I'm going to go under, but who knows? I just hope it's a good game. So I'm going under on that one, just because a little bit maybe the Super Bowl nerves.
Yeah.
What do you think?
51's a good line. I'm going to take it just slightly over.
Okay. Yeah, I could see a 28-24 as well. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, now we've been building it up. We picked everything but the game. So let's finish this week's episode of the One Note Sports Show by picking the game. Chiefs versus Eagles should be a good Super Bowl. 2 Texas-born quarterbacks. We got Patrick Mahomes, who went to White House up in East Texas. We got Jalen Hurts, who went to Channel View down in Houston. So we got our Texas tie-ins. Who's winning the Super Bowl? Manny, let's start with you.
I think if Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce are really able to link up, and not only that, but his other receivers really come to play as well, MVS and McCall Hardman, if they're able to get loose in the secondary, I think the Chiefs run away with this one. I'm going to take the Chiefs.
I think that's a great pick. I think it's going to be a close game. I just think Patrick Mahomes makes one more play than Jalen Hurts at the end of this. I think maybe this is hopeful, but I really do think this will probably be a one-score game at the end of it. And, you know, when I'm looking at the 2 quarterbacks, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes right now. So I'm going to say Chiefs. Chiefs in a thriller.
I mean, I'm not gonna let the Chiefs sweep the board. I think Philadelphia is a good team. I want to see them win so that the city can go crazy. So
Yeah.
can't be Philadelphia.
Send your prayers out to the Philadelphia
Yeah.
police officers and the Eagles win on Sunday night, because they're going to burn that city to the ground on Monday. I think one thing we're probably all in agreement, it should be a good game.
Oh,
Definitely.
Well, Brett, thank you so much for joining us this morning for some women's basketball insight. Again, big game tomorrow, home against TCU. So come on, show up and show out. And also, forgot to mention this, Vic Schaefer doing $10,000 donation. 10,000 fans show up for their February 27th showdown against Baylor. So get out to the Moody Center on that night to watch our women take on the Bears. Also, special shout out backstage to our technical director, and sports directors, Samantha Pearl's 21st birthday. So happy birthday, Samantha.
Yeah.
Hope you have a great weekend celebrating it with family and friends. We really thank you for all that you do to keep TSTV sports running. But big shout out to TJ for coming on, CC for keeping us in line behind stage, and then Courtney and Michael killing it in master control as well. For Manny Ramirez and Brett Haden, I'm Adam Ogburn. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the Super Bowl, and we'll see you next Friday.